council meeting will begin. We'll have Dr. Johnson, will you lead with an invocation, followed by the pledge of allegiance, please?
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this grand opportunity that we have. We thank you for life, health, and for strength. We thank you for this county and her leaders. We thank you for all the minds and the hearts that are around this council chambers. Lord God, we ask you to lead, guide, and direct this meeting so we can conduct business in the interest of Marlboro County, for all of Marlboro County. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. Okay. Approval for agenda items. It was brought to my attention that we would like to add something to the agenda. Either like someone to make a motion to add an item about a new business up on the 6D, discussion for opioid fentanyl telehealth initiative. Yes, sir.
Chairman, to council direction, it is stated here in the handbook for council clerks that once a council meeting begins, items on which can be taken may only be added to the agenda by a 2/3 vote by members present and voting. So you are able to add it now, but you need a 2/3 vote to add it to the agenda.
Okay.
So that's clarified.
Gotcha. Okay. We heard a motion.
Mr. Chair, I
Yes.
make a motion to add to the agenda under new business, item number 6, discussion of opioid fentanyl telehealth initiative.
Second motion.
Got a second? Any discussion? All in favor, show of hands. Unanimous. Okay, so that'd be up on the 6D, up on the new business. Okay. Approval of minutes, September the 17th, the call meeting. Okay. Oh, that's right, let's back up. We need to approve the agenda with the amendment. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made, the second. All in favor? Now we move to, that been approved. Now we move to approval of minutes for September 17th, the call meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes of the call meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Unanimous?
Abstain.
Abstain? Okay. One abstain. Recognize a citizen request before council. We have one gentleman to sign up, Mr. James. You up, sir?
Thank you.
Okay, we have 3 minutes. You can go right there to the podium right there, sir.
As mentioned, my name is James Chapelier. I was born and reared in this county. Moved back here 8 years ago after living in the Washington, D.C. area for 32 years. I moved here for a couple of reasons. One, we don't have a whole lot of traffic as opposed to living in the D.C. area. And two, we have family here and a lot of friends here. This county is filled with wonderful people. And I applaud each of you for sitting on that council and doing your diligent duties. However, I am vehemently opposed to the construction of the aquatic center project for several reasons. As you well know, we are one of the poorest counties in the state of South Carolina. Our tax base is diminishing by every day. We need to find ways to bring industry in here. The schools really need to be improved considerably before anybody's ever going to bring business back in here. But the idea of building an aquatic center, in my opinion, my humble opinion, is folly. First of all, I don't think we can afford it. I don't think we can afford the maintenance and the upkeep on an annual basis of that facility. I don't know what kind of due diligence has been done by this council here before you voted on it and approved it. I would hope that you would reconsider it. I'm surprised that there's not more people standing here speaking to me or speaking to you about this very subject, because I not only sent each of you a copy of my letter that I posted in the Marlboro Herald Advocate, I've had people that read that letter come up to me and said, Jim, I'm right behind you. I support your argument. I don't think we need it. There are so many other things in this county that we need, and a swimming pool would be simply at the bottom of my list of priorities. Like I said, the school system here, until we fix the schools, this county is going to become darker and darker and deader and deader until we can get business in here and get jobs. Just a simple thing. I don't know if I've completed my 3 minutes, but if anybody wants to ask me a question, like I said, I bet I've had 100 to 150 people respond to my posting in the Facebook and posting in the Herald Advocate. Said, I don't believe it. Don't believe they're good at that. So.
Okay.
Mr. Chappell, I was going to give you all, that's my number here.
Okay.
I'm glad to talk to you.
Okay, sure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. We have no one else to sign up to speak. We will move on. We got a presentation with Donald Strickland, PDRTA.
Thank you, Chairman, Council, and citizens of Marlboro County. Appreciate the opportunity to come and give an update for public transportation here in Marlboro County. We continue to do exceptionally well, and I will speak to some of the growth. I think Ms. Susan shared the presentation itself, and I'm going to run through it pretty quick. It's going to sound like an auctioneer, so slow me down if you need me to slow down a little bit. But this is our 50th year at PDRTA. We were founded in 1974. 50 years of continued service. We've obviously had our ups and downs, but these past 5 years, when we got back into the 6 counties that we're commissioned to serve, and obviously Marlboro County being one of them, it's been just tremendous as far as the growth and the use of kind of what we've been. That's kind of what I want to give an update on tonight is, how do we go, where do we go from here? How do we continue the work that's been done to be able to make sure we do what's right for the city of Marlboro County. But page 2 there, the services, fixed routes, paratransit demand response. Our demand response in Marlboro County is capped out. We cannot take any additional trips beyond what we're currently scheduling. We have folks calling every day, and we have to tell them we can't take it. We have the fixed routes running around Dennisfield, McCall, Clive, and then connect all the way to Wallace and Sherrod. But people every day are being denied services because we can't, at this point, add any additional resources to be able to cover the demand response needs throughout the county. We do it by priority as much as we can. So if you're going to dialysis and going to the grocery store, you're going to go to dialysis today. We try that. That's really all we can do to be able to get where we need to. But unfortunately, people need to go to the grocery store, so you got to be able to get to your essential resources. So we got to continue that path of trying to be able to figure out how do we move forward, additional resources and everything else. That's the demand response. They call it day ahead of time. We take them tomorrow. We're looking at the van pool program. We have to have a contract in place for van pools. We know I've been meeting, this may come up again, but meeting with ASC and other industries, and I know that we're struggling right now in Marlboro County for industry. But with that being said, we have to find a way to be able to get the citizens to the jobs. And we are putting dedicated services in other counties to be able to get folks going from work, and we want to bring that back to Marlboro County. When Mohawk was in place, we had 2 buses that were doing extremely well. Obviously, that's not the case anymore. But those are still some things we can do. We can have dedicated workforce routes. We're doing it now for about 5 other big industries, 2,040 industries, where we're picking up from home, taking them to work every day. This past month, we had 39,000 passenger trips at PDRT. It's the biggest number we've ever seen, 39,000. 22,000 of that 39,000 was people going to and from work. So over 60% of our ridership, they're going to work every day. And these folks either have no vehicles at all, or they have 1 car in their household. And cost of ownership of vehicles, $55,000 for a new vehicle now, $37,000 for a used vehicle. They just can't afford it. Not just the vehicle, but being able to maintain that vehicle and service that vehicle, put fuel in the vehicle, insurance, everything else associated with that. So we want to be able to do more to help this group. Parking rides is another option we definitely have in Marlboro County to get to the workforce until we can figure out, more jobs here. All of our buses are ADA accessible. They all have bike racks. Every day that I pass the Marlboro County bus, I see a bike rack in front of it. All buses have 6 to 8 surveillance cameras, audio and video. I think that really helps us from getting people, kind of going crazy on the bus. They know that they're being recorded, and it's benefit. It helps our drivers, it helps our passengers. If we make a mistake, if we run a red light, we know about it. You call me and say, hey, your driver didn't turn turns on, and I can take a look at that and verify that, and be able to do what we need to do as far as investigating. First aid CPR drivers go through a ton of training. I'm gonna move on, so I'm go through all that. Flats, Lawrence County is doing a transit study. We know that just because it's in that region, it's gonna benefit Marlboro County as well. So we're looking at system redesign, we're looking at areas that we're not currently serving, that we need to be serving. A transit development coordination plan. Workforce transportation is a big component in that study. So I'm excited to see kind of what that leads to. We should have a final report. This is an outside vendor consortium doing that. We should have that probably early spring to be able to have some ideas on how to move forward. Demand response to microtransit plan, and then regional coordination, inter-county service. Right now, you can't leave Marlboro County except to go to Chester County. Then you can go further, but no other counties really using public transportation. The next slide is kind of one thing I definitely want to hit on. Just in the past 5 years, when we started out fiscal year 2021, we were around just over 30,000 trips. This year, this past year was 44,000. This year we're projecting 50,000, over 50,300 trips. So just in 2 short years, a 53% increase, and it's not changing. I also put a little fact in here. Across our state, if you look at rides per hour, and at the Comet in Columbia, Central Business Transit Authority, they're averaging 11.6 trips per hour. Marlboro County is averaging 14.7. So your rides per hour is higher than Columbia, South Carolina, which is incredible. It's good and bad. It shows the need, which may be the bad part, and how do we, improve upon that. But it also tells me that, the Bentonville Express bus running every day, there's days where a passenger will step on the bus and they step back off. There's no seat. We got to figure that out. Love Foundation in Care First Carolina just provided an additional $38,000 to buy 2 more assets. So we're buying another cutaway bus and a Ford Transit van, and we're doing this before we can even know for a fact we're going to have operating money to be able to put it in place. But we got to add an extra serve, like an extra run, so that hour headway, the best way to do it is to add another driver, another bus, cut it down to a 30-minute headway. So not only are you adding service, but you're able to do that, and people that are not getting on the bus because of school, now they'll have an option. But we have to figure out how to fund this thing. And I was optimistic that we're going to be able to get there, and I need y'all's help to figure that out. Because I'm working hard with local partners and other places, but we're not where we need to be yet. So we do have to figure that out, just because the need is there for sure. So 50% increase in that short period of time is pretty incredible. Just a few more things. I talked about economic growth and workforce. AESC in Florence, I have a 4th meeting coming up. They know they're not going to hire 2,000 people in Florence. So they're looking for the places. How do we get them to the front door? We're going to end up building a fixture out that goes right by there. We need connecting service from Marlboro County, Dillon County, all the counties that we serve, getting folks to those jobs. And then the idea is that they can bring that money back to Marlboro County. They're not going to go look for an apartment in Florence as soon as they get that job, because they'll have that ride to work every day that's dependable, and not only that, they can get an extra hour of sleep both ways if they want to, going to work every day. So I think that there's a big opportunity there to be able to make sure that you're not going to lose additional, population densities when it comes to that. So those are things we're working on. I think y'all know our vision and mission by now. We're about to install 12 bus shelters over in Hartsville through a partnership. It's an incredible, process. But 12 bus shelters, PDRT gets 80% federal funding for any of the capital assets we do. So we only have to have 20% local funding to be able to do those things. We have a lot of seniors, we have a lot of ADA folks in Marlboro County. It would be nice to be able to start putting some of these bus shelters in. And the bus shelter itself, like I said, 80% federal funding to pull that out. Some of these shelters we're putting Wi-Fi in there, so folks can walk up, they can apply for a job, a kid, and in low-income housing area, and if their parents don't pay their internet, they can go finish their homework. They can do a lot of different things with that. And the other piece about the future is, trying to get some low-floor heavy-duty buses over here. I know that's a big ask. Right now, I'm more about trying to make sure people aren't walking away from the bus because they don't have enough seats. That's the biggest thing. Eventually, we'll get to heavy-duty low-floor buses, but those are expensive. And so we're going to do what we can with what we have. And kind of move forward from there. But, the other thing about that is on that one slide, you'll see a wheelchair lift that's about 3 feet off the ground. A low floor heavy duty bus, if you've never been in big cities, there's a ramp that rolls up that folds out, the bus kneels. So an 88 client, they're not having to go 3 feet in the air to get on the bus on the side of a road. They're actually just able to roll right in there. It takes about three less minutes to load that passenger in a wheelchair, secure them, to tie down the restraints, shoulder belt, lap, everything. It's a lot faster, so you're able to keep up and do better with your on-time performance as well. So that's the future. The other piece is education. We're doing internships in some of our counties now. We're taking juniors and seniors to work every day. They get out about an hour early from school. We take them to work. We have quite a few of them, but working with industries like Sunoco, some of our hospitals, some of our lawyers' offices, some of them, they hire these interns straight from high school. The programs we have in place are working with now 72% of those high school students, when they graduate high school, they have a full-time job there, and they're staying. So those kind of things are things that I'd love to work with the school district and other folks about, to help make sure we can, do what we can to keep our folks here and keep them driven. You've probably seen this bus before. This is just, for me, this is, RTAs were established in 1974. There were two sources of funding. One was a local referendum or sales tax. Y'all do pennies a lot of times for roads and bridges and everything else. At the Transit Authority, how we're basically found we can be a part of that. The other one is road use fees. So basically register vehicles in the county. There's a lot of benefit to looking at either one of those, but with the registered vehicles, typically most citizens with vehicles in a household, a lot of places are paying $30 to $50 a year, one time a year, and some of our technical schools. But at $5 or $7.50 or $10 for one time a year, what we're able to do with that is, if let's say that the number ends up being a couple $100,000, that actually provides $1 million in service because of being able to match federal and state funds. So we have to figure that out. It's not going to answer everything, but moving in that direction will certainly allow us to do a lot more of what we're doing and make sure we don't have folks looking for a ride that even needs it. Happy to answer any questions. I think I'll probably take them in 5 minutes, but just appreciate the opportunity to be here and kind of, trajectory where we're headed and kind of what's possible next.
Anybody got any questions?
I do, Mr. Chairman, just one. For PDRT, the company itself, how many citizens from Marlboro County have you actually employed? If any?
9 or 10 right now.
And other than bus drivers, I'm saying.
Yes, sir. We've got mechanics, we've got administrative folks, dispatchers. I have a supervisor, Mr. Charles McCray.
From Marlboro County?
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yeah, from McCall, Clyde, Dennisville, we've got one from Wallace. They're all over the place. They all bring that money back here too.
Great. That's the only question.
I did have one question. You mentioned the shelter that you're putting in Washington County, and it's 8% match. What is the approximate cost of one of the shelters? Just for reference.
So it really depends on what you go. So many different amenities. A base model shelter, like a 6-foot wide, 12-foot wide, ADA accessible. It's got benches. If you want to do a solar panel light, the shelter's probably $20,000. The concrete itself, the prep work and install, you're probably looking at close to another 10. So if you figure $35,000, you get 8% federal funding. So roughly $10,000, you can do a $35,000, $40,000 project.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Moving on, old business. Ordinance number 857, an ordinance to amend the agreement for development of a multi-county industrial and business park by and between Darlington County and Marlboro County, South Carolina, providing for the development of a jointly owned and operated industrial business park so as to include additional properties in Darlington County and Marlboro County as part of the joint county industrial park and other matter related thereto. This is the second reading.
This is just the second reading of where we want to expand the industrial park into a multi-county industrial park for the purpose of doing FEMA improvements. Second reading, we talk about that.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve ordinance 857.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, show of hands. Unanimous. About a new business, ordinance number 858, An ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of fee in lieu of tax agreement by and between Marlboro County, South Carolina, and a company known to the county as Horizon, acting for itself, one or more affiliates, and other project sponsors to provide for a fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes, incentives, and certain infrastructure credits, to expand the boundaries of a multi-county park to include the project and other matter related thereto. This is the first reading.
This is an ongoing project that we have, and we'll talk about more executive session as far as the details, but this is just another economic development project and the first we get
Okay, we gotta get first reading, get the ball rolling. May I get a motion?
Motion to accept.
Second.
Motion and made second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Unanimous. Ordinance number 859, the ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of fee in lieu of tax agreement by and between Marlboro County, South Carolina, and a company known to the county as Omega, acting for itself, one or more affiliates, and or other project sponsors, to provide for a fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes, incentive, and certain infrastructure credits, to expand the boundaries of the multi-county park to include the project and other matter related thereto. This also is the first reading.
Again, this is another project that we're bringing forth from Marlboro County, and it's just the first read by title only.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve ordinance number 859.
Second.
Motion and made second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? First reading? Unanimous. Resolution 102401, a resolution establishing the millage rate for fiscal year 2024-2025 and authorizing the county auditor and county administrator to set the loss credit factors.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to do Mr. West Park.
You have before you that resolution, and of course that includes the listing of the various millage rates and the tax credit factor for the upcoming fiscal year. I don't know if there's any questions or would like to answer those, please.
I have one.
Yes.
The millage rate increased in the rural fire.
For rural fire, there was 1.5 mil increase in rural fire. That was part of the budget process.
And then the question I have, because I've been approached, I have property in Clio. Why is the millage rate for Clio so high and it equals to that of Bennettsville and higher than that of McCall?
The town set their own millage rate based on what their requirements are. So, each town has,
So each town sets this, is that right?
Yes.
So that city council did this.
that is their city council established.
Do each town have a formula?
They do, they have a formula, and it depends on, obviously, the prior year millage, and then if there's also any loss recovery that they need to accomplish. So that also factors into it. If there's if they're trying to recover for prior year losses, that enters into the calculation. It's limited by the consumer price index plus any recovery of prior year losses.
Another question, and I'm just asking for information purposes, do they ever contact you for financial advice and make sure they're doing it right?
I do receive calls from other municipalities in terms of, the computation, whether it's for the millage rates or whether it's for the local option sales tax credit factor.
Mr. Paul, what's the variance from last year to this year? 'Cause honestly, it may have skipped me. I don't remember last year us setting a millage rate?
There was a resolution, I'm trying to think, when you recall which meeting that resolution was set.
No,
On last year.
No, in the prior year. I have to pull that, but it's every year we do.
I can tell you what it was, if you're talking about the county ordinary tax.
yeah, just from
I
the
pulled-
variance from last year to this
Right.
year.
It was from 2022 when it went up, but it was at one point, it was 0.8650, which was, now is 0.9800, makes a difference of 11.50. That was a big
I
increase.
have to look at that.
Oh, I went by
because I
it.
know that we, also within that, there was I'm trying to think, a reassessment adjustment, and then there was also a recovery of, state mandates. In terms of the total millage change between last year and this year, we're looking at 1.5 mils, and it's only on rural fire.
Okay.
The county ordinaries and the county debt service has remained.
Right, it remained the same, but 2022, this was when this big change came for the county ordinary. It did a big jump in.
There was an increase.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parks. We need to do a motion on this.
Mr. Chairman, just with that on 3, under the resolution, it said the county auditor, and it should say county administrator, it's got interim, so we need to strike that on the, I think it would, did you catch that? It says interim? Yeah, it has interim county administrator, just, that's the only thing, just would strike it. With that, I'll make a motion to approve. Okay, yeah, just for correction. With that, I'll make a motion to approve resolution 102401.
Second.
Okay, any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Unanimous. Okay, 6D, we added to opioid fentanyl, the telehealth initiative. Discussion, open discussion.
I'll let you use Councilman Lawson, please.
Okay. I'll put my little comments down. So let me flip them back, please. I just want to thank you, Mr. Chair, for the opportunity to have the floor, but I just need some clarification, and I need some clarification because I'm a little bit concerned. All members of council and us, Mr. Chair, we all received an email from Mr. Ned Brown of Palmetto Telehealth sharing information about South Carolina opioid recovery funds. And I think we all saw that, and I'm sure that we did. And in that, it talked about the 46 counties in the state receiving these funds because of the opioid and fentanyl crisis. The counties in the PD, which include Marlboro, Dillon, Florence, were some of the highest ones who were needing these funds. Marlboro County is number 4, Dillon County is number 1. We had an opportunity to receive state funding of over $300,000, a little over that. And it was because of the fact that if we submitted our funds on time, we'll also look forward to having maybe another $1.2 million for this project. I know that there was a proposed site that we have beds to provide overnight care through telehealth providers and also provide using our local EMS for services. I thought that was a great opportunity for Marlboro County, and I know that some things came up where a census probably was taken with each of us. I don't know. I've heard that your census made contact with each of us because there was concern, and one of the concerns that maybe arose about the method of payment, and also maybe the fact that contracting out from using a local or our grant writer. I want to point 2 things out about that. We contract out all the time. I got the budget, and there's 4 or 5 contracts in here. 4 or 5. One has to do with we got a We've hired, and he's on salary, our technology person. But we contract out with another company to also do computer service for us. We have a employee sitting here who's our lawyer, who's the lawyer. But we contract out when there's another person that we need to use expertise. So using someone else with more expertise, I don't see where that should have been a big problem. Maybe it was for most of you. I don't see where having money wired is a big problem. If there was a concern while those of us who were online, I wish those concerns had come out. They didn't come out then, so it made me think, well, if someone bring a proposal to us, and I don't know whether this has been happening from time to time, but sometimes we utilize ourselves when we'll say to ourselves, I will accept this if you do that. I don't know whether that happened, but I do know that there's a lot of favoritism and a lot of nepotism in Marlboro County. And I know that. I know that not just with this council, but school and whatever. The problem I have with this is, this was an opportunity where Marlboro County could have received funds to help with the opioid crisis, not just for African Americans, Native Americans, and anybody else who's having the problem. But we didn't take advantage of this. I don't know why we didn't. I felt like it was the fact that maybe the minds were already made up. I don't know how it was presented to interview in another conversation. But for me, I just feel like there was an opportunity we could have helped and used monies to help people in Marlboro County. I know there was a proposed site. I'm not sure whether that, because of the proposed site, that's not clear yet. I don't know about the proposed site yet. We haven't gotten an update on it, well, I haven't. But there was an opportunity for Marlboro County to have monies for that. This opioid and fentanyl addiction, it's not just the people who are drug addicts walking on the street. It's people who have, I would say, if you've had say a knee operation and you're on long-term drugs, sometimes those persons, the same average person could be hooked on opioid. But I wanted to make sure that I stand clear on this. The proposed project was not about African Americans. It was not about Native Americans. It was about making sure that this was an opportunity for citizens of this county to benefit from this project. That state money is out there. As of today, I do know that Florence County and Florence City are now seeking those funds, and they will probably be utilizing a bed facility. So again, sometimes I feel like we miss opportunities because of other deals that may, or other propositions that may come up and say, well, I have a friend, I want you to take care of this friend. If that's happening, and it's happened in the past, I'm asking that please don't let us miss another opportunity, because I don't know how many opportunities we've missed in the past, but I know that I feel like we missed this one.
I don't think we missed this opportunity, Councilwoman Lawson. I think that score of money that's allocated to Marlboro County is Marlboro County's money. I think how we engage a provider to access that money and provide those services would definitely still be. I don't think we missed that opportunity. Mm-hmm. This deadline came upon us really, really quick, about it. And I agree with having a measure of caution, before we jump into this. But the money that's allocated to Marlboro County is Marlboro County's money. Nobody can take that money. So I do think we do need to engage and direct, whether it's Ms. Regina or whomever, to seek out that money. But that money from Marlboro County is allocated to Marlboro. We was in that major lawsuit, so nobody can take Marlboro County's money. But I do think we need to take this opportunity to address the opioid crisis that has hit the McCall area, the Wallace area, and some of these other areas. But I think how we do it is going to be real strategic. This was a real quick turnaround, and I agree, with us almost taking a step back to fully evaluate the fullness. But I don't think we're going to miss this opportunity to be able to provide those services and get that SCORE funding, because that funding is Marlboro County's funding.
Also, go ahead. You want to go ahead?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, in this particular instance, I think the whole council agrees with the opioid program. However, we're talking about a company that was actually pitching a telehealth component of this. And the way they were pitching themselves, they wanted us to wire them $10,000 to get a grant that was not guaranteed that we were gonna get within 24 to 48 hours. There's no way that we do business like that. This county has A1 credit. There's no way nobody can come and tell us that if you don't give us $10,000 in 2 days, that you're gonna lose this opportunity, and we're not gonna mess with you anymore. We're gonna go someplace else. Well, my attitude is to go someplace else. And the fact that $10,000 to write a grant, an opioid grant, when we have a grant writer that have written opioid grants. That's how we get the grants for the sheriff department. And if we're gonna give somebody $10,000, let's give her a bonus for all the grants that she has already written. You know, $10,000. I don't think that is the market price to even write a grant. And I'll let you speak on that. But if we're gonna pay $10,000, let's pay $10,000 to our own grant writer. And that is the issue. There's no way that we, as a county, can do business with a company that really tries to strong arm us. And by the way, if you hadn't noticed, that 2-day deadline that we let go by, all of a sudden it got changed. Oh, we're gonna extend it just a little bit further. It's just a whole array of red flags that has come up with this telehealth company. Not the opioid component of it, but the company that is pitching the telehealth component. I can't agree with that, and I will not.
And the issue I have with it too is, like I said, he gave us such short notice, and then when it passed, he turned around and every single one of us, he said we missed the boat. He sent every one of us another email saying, well, it's been extended, but you still got a chance to give me $10,000, but the money needs to be wired. No, I don't know of any county anywhere around here that wires money like that, you know. And the bottom line is, when it first come up, that's an extreme amount of money. But if we were to get $300,000 or whatever the grant was, yeah, I reckon that would be a lot of money. It'd be a good advantage for the people in Marlboro County that need help. And granted, the $10,000 is probably cheap if we could get the people the help they need. But the problem is, when we didn't jump on it, he turns around and says, well, the date's been extended, and he sends another thing. Well, I still need the money wired. Now, I don't know if anybody does business like that, you know. And I just don't know. It's like you said, it was like he was strong-arming us and trying to get us to get him that money. He might have never done the grant for us, you know.
And I hope no one is strong arming him to say, well, a person that he hired before, you need to hire him back, or we want to use a particular company. So I hope that is not going on either. Because if you saying that this person was not legit, if we are strong arming him, I still say, if he wasn't good enough then to use, why would you want to bring somebody back that he dismissed? So that's all I have to say.
Ms. Clyburn, go ahead. You had a question.
Well, first of all, when I sent emails out to council, everyone got the same exact email, whether or not they felt like it was appropriate to do business in that manner. And I said in that email, and everyone can verify, I'm happy to follow through with it if the council approves. I just need something in writing saying that this is something we approve on doing it. Now, the only red flag that any council member had was the fact that not only do we have a grant writer, but he mentioned that he wanted to use his grant writer because that person had already done a grant for $112,000 an acre, which they did get turned away from the city bank, and I haven't found out why yet. And that she knew people on the scoreboard. Well, our own grant writer, and I want to correct something, she's not more expert than our own grant writer, who has gotten a $307,000 grant. from the same scoreboard and those people on that same board, and is happy to do that grant for Marlboro County. And so I think that is a bit of an insult to our own grant writer, who has done not only SCORE grants, but has done USDA grants well above beyond what she can ask for. We asked her to do a $150,000 grant, she comes back with $475,000. We asked for the opioid recovery grant, usually around $200,000, she comes back with $37,000. So we have a very successful grant writer who I think needs to be given a chance to write that grant. And I just think, I think that, and if he can't accept that we have our own grant writer, as opposed to giving someone who we have no idea who it is, $10,000, nobody said they didn't want that guy, Ned Brown. No one said that. All they said was that, why do we have to wire money to a grant writer that we have no idea who it is when we have our own very successful grant writer? That was the whole issue. Had nothing to do with him. Well, I don't even know who he supposedly dismissed that we're supposed to be bringing back. We're only talking about having our grant writer write the grant for Marlboro County. That fund, those funds go to Marlboro County. And we not only can get our funds, we can get more funds from discretionary funds that they have with the scoreboard. All to us. So that was the whole issue. Why don't we use our own grant writer? And that's what gave pause to every member who I've spoken to. I can call out one by one, they'll tell you the same exact thing. That was their issue. Why didn't we have our grant writer write the grant? That was it.
Like I said, one of the things, I agree with all what everyone said, is like, October the 2nd, he said we needed a check written and delivered by that Friday. I talked to the man Thursday. He said, with Mr. Woods' chair, you got to the mall. After the mall, we gonna move on. I mean, that attitude he said to me. Now, we used to say attitude to anybody on council, well, you got to the mall. You can't pay at the mall, we gonna move on. I was like, Mr. Strowman, move on. And then come Monday, Tuesday, he come right back and said, well, we got an extension. It was too many, too shaky. And I know Mr. West, the finance man, and on council, I have never heard us pay a individual a wire transfer. Have we? You know, a wire. Right. But when you say a wire transfer, it's known all over the land. A wire transfer, once that wire go through, that money lost. They know where to track it. They know where to trace it back. A wire transfer is untraceable. So there's no way I would agree to put our administrator in harm's way to tell them go ahead and make the move and wire $10,000 for somebody we don't even know and never seen and never heard. We just going by another man. Well, we want her to do it. No. And then let's say who is to say that she gonna write the grant? And they could come back to us and say that well, we got denied or whatever the case may be. It's a no-brainer. And we got Ms. Regina over there, like you just said, qualified. My thing is this: if she is a grant writer for SCORE, you can still write the grant. The grant got to be written anyway. You write it, and then after it get done, we still can see the money. You know, the money ain't the problem. It's how you want the money. You want the money before you do the work, before you put pen to paper. I'm different. I don't work that way. You know, and I know everybody got their own opinion, and that's why we add them to the agenda so everybody can voice their opinion. You know, because we want nobody to feel like they left out, they didn't have a chance to speak. So we want everybody to voice your opinion. We got 8 people up here, and all 8 of us need to say something. Mr. Measley?
I do have
Jason.
one more question before this speak. I want to ask the administrator, did you, when you did your due diligence on this company and looking into this, did you check with the Secretary of State on this company?
I did.
What was your finding?
The company was formed June 15, 2024.
This year,
Yes.
this company was formed.
That's when it was on the Secretary of State's website. Yes.
Okay, mighty fine.
When were you notified?
What's that?
When were you notified? When did Ben Ned, when did he call you?
I called him on the 17th of September.
That when you first heard about it?
Because Councilman Lawson came to my office about it that day. And I promised I would called
me
him.
out of business. This
And I called him like that.
Without money.
I followed up on a letter, on an email.
No, I understand, you came to my office.
I did.
And I promised you I would talk to him.
I did.
And I called him, and that's my first time ever talking to him.
We all agree that those funds and the opioid crisis is something that definitely needs to be addressed in Marlboro County. How we address it, I think we go about it in more calmer means in addressing opioid. We don't want to beat this issue and stay here another hour about this issue. We realize the opioid crisis in Marlboro County has been a detriment to our citizens. How we go about getting that money that's allocated to Marlboro County, we need to be diligent about how we get that money. But that money is not going anywhere. We won. We was a part of that lawsuit. The money that's dedicated to Marlboro County is there. How we go about it, access it, I think we have a qualified person that could possibly go after that money. So, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, we were pitched that this lady, that he found a grant writer that he needed us to use to have this expertise. But when you look at what you found, the Secretary of State, I'm sorry, Mr. Administrator, but what you found is that she actually is a part of this company. So when you look at all the pieces, it looked to be not, it looked like a fly was in the middle. I'm sorry. So it is prudent for us to back up. And that would be my vote. I'm sorry.
We want to table this, or we want to,
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we table this.
I don't
think
there's nothing.
It was just a
to table.
discussion.
I think it's just a discussion.
okay. Just a discussion, okay.
Just an open discussion
Okay.
to make sure clarification came to this. That's it.
Okay.
I was against the aspect of wiring money and the way it went about. I'm not against, I'm for all opioid help we can get in our county, and I think all council members are, but the way it went about, I was totally against it, and I'll tell, Minister can call me, I was against it, so.
Me too, Mr. Chairman, I was against it. I talked with Mr. Stroman, and I wanted Dr. Johnson knowing that, but I know he's very, right there with the opioid crisis with his expertise, and I went after what both of those guys were.
I was the same way. I mean, I want the help, and we need the help, and I think that we're gonna get some help, I really do. But when they give you a 24-hour time limit to send $10,000, that was a red flag for me, which I talked to the administrator and to the chair and different ones about it. And it's, the money comes through the county. It's not theirs. It's got to come through Marlboro County. It's just like Marlboro Water, when they get it, it's got to come through the county. So it's the same type thing, and they can't do it in 24 hours. It's, some of it might take 3 months, I don't know, but it just not business the way it was handled, and that's my only concern with it. Okay. Everything else, I'm for, and I want to try to get it, but something just it just went about the right way.
All right, that's everybody had a discussion and everybody voiced their opinion.
And thank you, Mr. Chairman, for allowing this to be an open discussion, so I respect each of your opinion, but thank you for allowing this to be an open discussion.
All right, so we will move on from here. Appointment to boards and commission. Anybody need to be appointed to the board or commission?
Mr. Chair, we don't have an appointment, but I do think we need to be definitely looking at the way we appoint boards and commissions. It's going to soon be the first of the year. I know that the housing board has changed. The name of that has changed. They are no longer housing in Marlboro of Florence. They are now Marlboro County. So that ordinance needs to be looked at, and the name needs to be changed.
Yes, that's October 1st. They did separate from the Florence Housing Authority and now Marlboro County Housing Authority, which controls every housing unit in Marlboro County.
But I know there was, Mr. King was on an agenda with a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, but then he got sick or something, so, yeah. But we'll put it on the agenda in November to have it come in also.
We have to have an ordinance in place for the name to change, because they only have 5 members. That board, I brought it to y'all attention. We need to consider increasing that, because sometimes they don't have a quorum to meet. They don't sometimes, when they meet, they don't have a quorum to meet.
So could they legally change their name without having an ordinance from the county?
No, they have to go through the county.
They have to go to the
Okay,
county.
they
and
have
they
to go through the
have-
county, but at the same time, there already is a Marlboro County board where we can approach them and let them know that we would like to do this membership and just work with them. And from when I talked to Mr. King, he's fine, we can work with them, and it doesn't have to be adversarial kind of thing.
Okay.
They're willing to work with us and say, okay, we need an increase, we need an increase. So I think that's something that we can easily accomplish next month's meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Start that process of the new ordinance. That's necessary.
That sounds fine. Anything, anybody else? We need a board and commission. Okay, accepting of bids, we got none. Reports, Mr. West Parks.
Mr. Chairman, council members, you have before you the report for the period ending September 30th of 2024. We had revenues of $2,312,367 in comparison with $2,016,092 for the same 3 months ending September 2023. General fund expenditures through September 30th, 2024 totaled $4,246,114 of a $14,748,543 budget, or 28.79% of budget year to date. General fund expenditures totaled $3,630,399 for the same 3 months ending September 30th of 23. In terms of expenditures, we are higher as a percentage because of the payment of our annual property and workman's comp insurance, as well as payroll expenses. Through the end of September, the county has issued 7 pay periods out of the 26 pay periods, which approximates 27% on a year-to-date basis. The combination of the prepayment of insurance and the 7 payrolls in the first quarter explains why the percentage of expenditures are higher than anticipated at this point during the year. No question about it, our budget is tight. We'll continue to monitor every possible expenditure and I'll continue to update you as the year progresses. Any questions?
I do. September, you shared with us, because we're over another a little over $800,000 then. Now we're over a little over $500,000 in the budget.
In comparison.
Right.
Yes.
We're more, it's adding more and more, adding. You mentioned that the budget is tight. Yes, the budget is tight. We know that we have added more people to the payroll.
We've got whatever was approved in terms of the budget as of, the adoption of the budget.
Right.
And one thing I didn't include with this presentation, I went ahead and I just ran salaries and benefits together, and it was less than 27%. So it really appears to be the difference ends up being the prepayment issues associated with
Not the salaries.
not the salaries.
Okay, because that's what I noticed.
That was, yeah. There obviously it's larger in comparison to the prior year, but we are still under 27% in terms of salaries and benefits.
And the fact that you said that what budget is tight, it is tight, and it is tight. But then, if everybody would have done like I did too, there's some fluff in this budget. There's a lot of fluff in this budget, because I don't understand how we can have so many big events and not where the funds are coming from. I don't understand where they are. Then, the sad thing about it is, I know that we didn't have one for this month, a meeting for, we didn't have a meeting for finance. But in each meeting, this is a general fund meeting that we know, and I realize you are the finance, interim finance director, the finance director. So you take your cue from the administrator.
Now, what we try to do is we know that general fund has an impact. That is, all the other funds are really required to be self-balancing. There needs to be adequate funds to cover, the various costs. The general fund is one where we actually have property taxes that are utilized to be able to, meet the obligations. The other funds typically don't have that.
What I was trying to say, thank you, but we only know what's in our general fund. We never, as of this day, have any idea what's in any other running total balance in any other account, and realizing that you don't manage all the accounts, the 50, the 60 accounts that we have. But sadly, every month since I've been on this council, we get a package telling us what the expenses were compared to last year. And each time I do appreciate how you present this to us. But for us to never, ever know what's in any of these accounts, the 60 accounts that we have economic development. Unless you go to the meeting, you won't know what's in their account. Those kinds of things. And to me, that's still a slap in the face for us to be what we call the governing body and not know anything about any of those accounts.
I can include reporting on maybe some of the larger proprietary funds, like, for example, we have.
And realizing that you get your cue from the administrator. So I know that. So if y'all can do that,
This is typically what
okay.
we've presented in the past, and I really haven't had a request to have more than, the general fund information, other than when we go through the budgetary process.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Certainly. And the next report I have here for you is the expenditures on the capital projects. And those are from 40, 55, 70, 72, 73, and 75. The report includes the reallocation of the budgets as approved at the September 10th, 2024 County Council meeting. The reallocation allows the capital budget in the amount of $2,425,000 for the County Aquatic Center. The report provides a listing of payments on project-to-date basis according to budgets of these funds. I don't know if there's any questions about any of the presentation of the various project funds that we'd like to discuss those.
There's nothing for me about that, but I want to ask about the expenditures. I see FEMA money has increased. Do we have any monies coming in from FEMA yet?
I'll have to.
It's 18,000 in the budget now.
We do have 18,000 in expenditures, and I've got to see whether or not there's any claim that we have prepared. I'm not aware of any claim that from
And then I noticed that there's nothing in the disaster preparedness fund. That's on the part of us. We didn't put anything in that disaster preparedness fund in our budget, so that's why that's zero.
Well, we do include, it's 911, we, sort of consider part of the emergency response.
No, I'm just saying, I noticed that it says zero on the fall.
Correct.
That means, should we not have put something in the budget for that?
Well, I mean, obviously, we were very tight with our budget process this past, current year that we're in, and I think that will be something we can address in the upcoming year.
Thank you, Mr. Carter.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Administrative report, Mr. Clyburn.
Good evening. I do want to update us on 6 different things. First of all, voter registration building. morning. All right, got DT on that, and the city's gonna go in with us on that, it's part of the city sidewalk, so it's gonna be about $3,000, but we're gonna go ahead, we have to do it. And it's something we have to require to do, so that started in the morning, should be finished by Monday. So that'll be that, and we do still have some funds left over that were allotted for that movement. And we're gonna look at, redoing some of the front area where people go and watch the voting total. The next thing, Smithville Community Center, that's over on Community Road between Bentonville and Wallace. And it's a that facility is used a lot by citizens. And I'll just tell you, I saw it for the first time not too long ago, and I could not believe that was one of our buildings because it was in such bad shape. And it didn't take much to fix it, and we are fixing that right now. We're doing just painting, plumbing, and lighting. Had a whole bathroom that just boarded up, wasn't working. And I don't know why it was allowed to sit there for years, apparently. And so we're fixing that. I know the citizens will be glad that that's being fixed, and it's going to be, we've got some trees that would cut off those power lines over there. There's just a lot of things that need to be done to it. And it will be done by next week. Everything will be done. And I want to invite the council, take this time to invite the council on Saturday 19th to come out. We're going to invite the community, and we're going to invite some others to come out and just enjoy. We're going to give free hot dogs and some music and some water and some sodas, and just have a good time and let everybody see the facility. So we're very proud of that, and that's one of our buildings. We're very proud that it's going to be updated and taken care of. The next thing I want to talk about is the Text My Gov app that I was instructed by council right before the first hurricane that came into the season. To go ahead and try to get that added in. And that will be added to our website on October 18th, where citizens can go register to get text messages like the Yosemite City does, where it comes from us on their phone, a text message, all emergencies, or any other kind of things that we need to get out to our citizens. So if you'll start registering on the 18th, we're going to advertise it on our social media, our digital sign, our webpage, and in all of our county facilities in the buildings, and also in the newspaper. We're going to advertise that Text My Gov so that people all around Marlboro County can get access to the information that we're going to be sending out. I want to give an update on the job fair that occurred today. Job fair went very well, and I do want to commend Ms. Pearson and Ms. McNeil for the work, as well as other employees that they got to help them for the work they did on that job fair. We had 20 different employers, including AESC from Florence. They came and they're going to be coming back to do a hiring event sometime soon. We had different companies within the county. We had the state and federal prison. We had a lot of people that came. We had over 80 people that actually registered and came in. There were some others that just kind of walked in. But the good news about that is there were several interviews that were earned today, and we actually had a few people that were hired today on the spot at the job fair. I believe Harbor Freight hired a couple of people, and I forgot the other one. But we did have some hiring that went on. And look, those aren't huge numbers, but those are really good numbers for a job fair there. And one person at a time, we're going to get everyone employed in Marlboro County, as we said. The gentleman earlier talked about jobs. Well, we're working to get jobs and get people hired on those jobs. It's two things. You got to bring a job, but you also got to get people hired for those jobs as well. So we're working on that. The last thing, I do want to give an update on Hurricane Milton. I know Calvin's here, but I've talked to him. We're not going to see a lot of, we'll see a little bit of wind. We're not going to see a lot of rain, maybe a little bit, but it's not going to really affect us. That's not what I want to speak about. I spoke with Mr. Odom. He called me this morning. Tons of people leaving up I-75 and I-95, coming this direction. And we've been in trouble before in Marlboro County. We've had to get help from other places. We get people coming in from all these other counties. We have disasters, and I do think if if it's in Bird, you call the governor's office, and I appreciate that. And you talk with someone who said that they were gonna look at possibly allowing some of the counties to use some of their schools for shelters. Our school's not in this week, and so it would be much of a problem, and that's up to the school board, school district. But, you know, as a county, I do think it is incumbent upon us to help those of our neighbors if they need that help, because it's gonna be a pretty damaging storm coming in tomorrow and Thursday, and we do have a lot of people on the roads coming up. And so I just do want to say publicly, if you find a place in Marlboro County, we welcome you. We'd love for you to stay, but you know, we empathize because we go through the same thing ourselves with our events, and we want to help those of our neighbors when they need help as well. So, do you have anything you want to add to that, Councilman?
No, I will say that Nikki Pruitt with the school board is the first person that contacted me early this morning with the idea that, you know, we ought to maybe possibly look at, since school's out this week, there was going to be a tremendous influx of people coming up north. And a lot of people, I'm sure the motel rooms or something already saturated completely out, but a lot of people not in a position that they can pay for a motel room. So she felt like, you know, if I would talk with Mr. Clyburn, which I did, that maybe we could do a joint thing together to work with the school system to provide the high school gymnasium and cafeteria as a place that people could at least get out of the car and shelter for the next day. The thing is going to be moving fast. It's going to move right on across Florida, you know. But I did get a call from Lieutenant Governor Evans at 5 o'clock, and she basically let me know that the state EMD director would be the person to help us with that, and that Calvin could be talking to him in the morning, Kim Simpson, and see what kind of a plan they could come up with if it's needed, you know, granted it's needed. And I think from what I'm seeing on I-95 and I-75, even all the way up here, there's going to be a need for people to shelter in a place other than the car. And it's for people that really can't afford motel rooms and stuff.
Now, I talked about some other things. Do you have any questions from the council about any other things I talked about?
Mr. Clark, this will be a great opportunity now that we as a community, because we didn't know, I don't know whether the state did anything for North Carolina. North Carolina is our sister state, and right up, less than 100 miles from us, that same disaster flooded Asheville. But I do know Florida is in need. But this is a great opportunity that I would like to ask you to look at that form that I asked you to look at, because this is a good opportunity for us to recruit volunteers, have something in place for volunteers, people who want to get Red Cross trained, they can do it online, but we can have something in place for crisis and disaster, because there's a lot of people in this community who would like to help and volunteer. And I know because doing the shoving that sand, a lot of people, about 25 of them said they want to do something. But have it organized enough where you have a list of people, have their contact number, their address, phone number, and so if you can, and your staff can have developed that, and we start circulating that, put it on our website, so people want to volunteer, they can make sure that they can have that. That will bring more closure, but it's bring more organization to us getting developing a disaster team. Thank you.
Okay. We have, we need to go to executive session to discuss contractual matter regarding economic development issues.
Mr. Chairman, before we go to executive session, I just want to acknowledge that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I know she wasn't on the agenda, but I see Miss Wendy Woods, who's the PD Coalition representative here, and there are a lot of events going on this month in regards to domestic violence. So pay attention to the things that are going on in regards to the meetings, the Clippers conversation, and Clippers in Conversation. Nice lemonade stand was last Thursday, a great turnout. And some of these events that we can continue to be aware that domestic violence, sexual assault, and those things happen in our community, and we need to be aware and need to be cognizant of those things.
Ms. Woods, you like to come up and say, you got a minute, you want to say anything? We done passed that curfew time, but if there's something you need to share?
Mr. Woods? Lewis, thank you so much for opening the door for me to say so. I thank, Dr. Johnson for saying a few words. I just want to give you all brochures, and, if you all don't mind, just a few minutes of your time, few seconds of your time, to give you those brochures and information. As Dr. Johnson said, we have a list of events and, that have gone on and everything. And I just first like to say thank you to the county, for always being, I say a partner in what we do. You always show up, whether it's nice lemonade stand, or whether it's the sheriff's office and dealing with our victim survivors, all kind of parts. I want to say something to PRCA. Thank you for what you do for the shelter. So when I sit here and see and hear the conversation, the things that you're discussing, I am proud to be from Marlboro County because I can hear the growth. You hear what I'm saying? These discussions, these conversations about growth. And so I just thank all of you for just always being a partner in what we do. Domestic violence, with the events coming up, we have the Clippers in conversation, like Dr. Johnson said, at Bella Institute, which is Miss Crickett's barbershop salon. That'll be on the 15th on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Just come and join the conversation from Main Street. Also, on October the 26th, on a Saturday, we're going to do Riders Against DV, and that's motorcycle riders, the three-wheel vehicles. I had to figure out what's the name of those things.
Trikes.
Yeah, those. And anything that is, any vehicle that is legally, that you can put on the road, we're going to start in Blenheim on the 26th. We're going to start in Blenheim at Parker's gas station at 10 a.m. in the morning. And then we're going to be escorted by our sheriff's office, straight to the sheriff's office. And we're going to be led by, they call it Queens on Threes. I don't know if you ever heard that group, but the Queens on Threes. And we're going to be in Blenheim at 10 a.m. for the first stop. And then we go through Clio. We're going to go to McCall and have a pit stop, both town halls in Clio, the town hall in McCall. And I had a meeting with Tatum, and they was like, why'd you leave us out? So Tatum wants a pit stop too, right there along the fence. And we're going to go on to Wallace, and we're going to turn around in Wallace at the school. We're going to turn around at Wallace at the school. And the last stop will be the courthouse. So this is something where we want to say, we're trying to make the pitch that, it affects all of us. Domestic violence affects all of us, and it's going to take all of us to stop it, okay? So we thank you so much. We hope to see you there on the 26th. Thank you so much.
Mr. Woods, I need to ask her something.
Yeah, go ahead.
The 26th is also early voting day on that Saturday.
Okay.
So I just wanted to know, when you say at the courthouse, what will y'all be doing at the courthouse?
We're just going to be at the courthouse and end everything at the courthouse and disperse. That's all. That's it.
I brought that up because I do know early voting does take place on that day.
Okay.
And with the election such a controversial thing now, we do not want to block anyone from getting there to vote.
Oh, no, this is separate from that. This is where.
No, I'm just saying, so you won't be surrounded and just blocking the
No, I don't know. It won't be any blockage. You won't even be there probably 5 or 10 minutes.
So it's just like a drive-through.
That's exactly right.
Thank you for explaining that.
Oh, no problem.
I just needed to be sure.
No problem. Thank you all for your time. Again, thank you so much.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we go into executive session.
Motion made second. All in favor?
Thank you, ladies, for wearing pink today for breast cancer awareness. Thank you.
10 minutes, 7:30.
We won't be long, 15 at the max.
That's all my discussion.
Knock you down.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we come out of executive session.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. All in favor will come out of executive session. Unanimous. Okay. We got recognition of council members. We start with the ladies first.
Thank you. I have a couple of announcements. Number one first is, I asked prayer for everybody who live in Florida. And that's affected me because my children, my whole family lives in Florida. So I ask that y'all, let's pray for the people in Florida, that they'll be safe, and especially in the Orlando, Tampa area, and that whatever happens, that they will not get the brunt of the storm. Want to remind those of you who are candidates in this November election that you need to submit your Q3 campaign disclosure report by October the 10th with the State Ethics Commission. Early voting begins here in Marlboro County and in the state of South Carolina October the 21st through November the 2nd at the Marlboro County Courthouse. Voter registration has been extended to October the 14th. And one point I want to make to anybody who feels like they are too ashamed to vote, if you've been convicted as a convicted felon, and you have served your time, you can re-register and you can vote. So re-register by October the 14th. Want to say that across the county, the Lieutenant Governor, she has put again for the state Palmetto Pride cleanup. It's sad that thus far we don't have that, but I ask that we consider having a countywide cleanup because our county is trashy again. So I would like for us to consider that. But for everything else, I do appreciate Breast Cancer Awareness Month and Domestic Violence Month. And thanks everybody who came out tonight. Thank you.
Mr. Misley.
I am good. I have nothing to say.
Good to me. Mr. Strobel.
First of all, thank you, Mr. Administrator, for the job well done. Doing a great job. Thank you for your staff, for all the hard work that you all do. And to our grant writer, you have done a tremendous job for this county. And I salute you 1,000%. When it comes to the aquatic center, we had a citizen to stand up and oppose it earlier, and he made a comment about this county is getting, if we don't do something about the school system, he said this county is going to get darker and darker. And I hope he didn't intend that in a racist way, because the leadership in Marlboro County, it has changed, and I hope he didn't go there with that comment. Because I see a bright, bright future for Marlboro County. I don't see a darkness over us. I see a council that is working together, that's working through difficult issues. We don't agree on some things, but we agree on a lot of things. And it is totally, totally different than what it used to be. The transparency level of the information that we have, now we know more about things that happen in this county than we've ever known before. Even as a council, we know more than we've ever known before. We've doing a great job at that. So for anybody to even suggest that a council like this would not have done their due diligence and look at every aspect of building such a project, a mass project like that, it is kind of an insult to us. We definitely have done our due diligence. So that being said, I will go, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Mr. Steen.
No, this time.
Dr. Johnson.
I just encourage everybody to get involved not only in our county, but get involved in our election. Young people, 18 and 34, represent about 40 million voters. We need our young people to get involved. Vote. So if you haven't registered already, you have until Monday, October the 14th. It takes about 3 minutes online, www.scvotes.org. You can register online. Please, ma'am, please, sir, encourage at least 5 people to vote. We need, regardless of what party, regardless of your affiliation, we need voters in Marlboro County. We had an abysmal voting record in our primaries. In our city's election, we've had an abysmal voter turnout. So we want to make sure that the voter turnout in Marlboro County is grand. Because when we're looking at funding, whether you know it or not, they look at the votes. They look at the amount and the percentage of people that are voting. When you have 20% and 30% of the population voting, that sends a big message to those legislators and how much money that they're going to send down here to Marlboro County. And we need every dime that we can get. So please, ma'am, please, sir, for those who have experienced breast cancer, cancer of any kind, we continue to pray for your health. I have family members, who have experienced, my sister, who's the strongest person that I know. So we send prayers to those who, are dealing with any type of cancer or any type of health ailments. We're praying for those who are in the path of the storm. We pray that God will shift the storm, that it is not as bad as the weather forecasters are making it out to be. But we got some great things going on in our county. We want to continue to lift our county up. The Spark, Places of Innovation, if you haven't already been, please, ma'am, please, sir, take an opportunity to go visit this Smithsonian exhibit. It's a big thing for Marlboro County, and we want to make sure that we have a great turnout. Thank the county administrator, Mr. McNeil, Ms. Regina, and all the county staff for the wonderful work that they're doing behind the scenes to help our county continue to rise from the ashes that it's been for a long time. We're excited about what can happen in the future.
I just want to echo everything Dr. Johnson said. I think he said everything that I want to comment on. I thank staff for what they do, and I thank council for us working through. We've got a lot of things done and accomplished, and I'm pretty proud of what we've done in this year especially.
Yeah, got a couple things I need to talk about. Number one, we need to keep all the people in North Carolina and Florida who went through Helene. We need to keep all of them in our prayers, and we need to keep the people that's in the face of Milton now in our prayers, because it may be the most devastating hurricane that the nation's ever seen. If it stays, it's back to a Category 5 again, so that's just going to be terrible. I did attend Saturday the ribbon cutting for the Cloud Children's Playground, and believe me, if you don't think them kids in Cloud love that thing, when that rope came down, they like to run over each other trying to get into that little park. But beautiful facility that we were a part of as far as donating the money and helping Adam Pate and the Cloud Council do something good for that community. This afternoon I got a call from the DOT engineer, and they have requested, I assume he was talking DHEC, they have requested a paving crew and a paint crew to be at the Academy Road Thursday. And if they get the paving done, which I think it will get done, the painting is a contract crew, so whether they've got a contract crew that can go in and do the painting, it can't be open until the painting is done. But more than likely, Academy Road will possibly be open Thursday afternoon. If not, within a day or two, once they get the painting done, Academy Road will be opening. And the last thing kind of perturbs me a little bit about an issue Sunday. The mayor of McCall did a video, and this is for all of us council because we know what we did. He made a video at the park and explained about everything that was going on. And but then at the end of it, he brought up the $75,000 that we gave them. And he said he had to jump over hoops and approach the county 4 times before he ever got the money. Well, we all know sitting up here, that's just not true. You know, they made a presentation to this council a few months ago, him and 3 of his council members. We listened to them. We made a motion at the next council meeting. It was a unanimous decision to give the town of McCall $75,000 to finish that park in McCall. And if I make no mistake, he got the check the next morning, didn't he? got the check the next morning. So no, he did not have to jump hoops, and he did not have to approach his council. And I take very much offense for myself and all 7 of us that went to bat for the town of McCall to get the money to finish that park. The work is still not done. They have the money. I think the council's gonna move next week on it. They want to see the park, but I want that track. That track needs a lot of work on it. And we gave them the money to do it. And we expect them as a council to use the money for what we gave it to them for. And the people in McCall expect that. But anyway, I'm not gonna say much more on it. I take very much offense because every one of us went to bat for them, and it was a unanimous decision that we give them the $75,000, the same that Clive did. Mr. Clive heavily involved in us getting all this stuff together. So, you know, I want to see the money that we gave them spent on that park, and they've got plenty of time now to finish what needs to be done over it so that the kids and McCall can enjoy the same thing that Clive is enjoying with a brand new park. That's all I got to say.
Sheriff Lemon, I see you back in the cut.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, members, mayor, council, and all the tenants, I just want to say good afternoon, that's all. Thank you.
Boy, you short. In closing, a good meeting. We covered a lot of bases. We hit a lot of targets. One thing I would like to thank Verd and Senator Malloy that worked a lot in my district on Academy Road. You know, with the teamwork, the dream work. You know, so I'd like to thank personally Verd and our Senator Joe Malloy pushing Academy Road. It's been down for a long period of time. Ms. Steen and Misley, former chairs, I'm saying this from the current chair. I'd like to thank my clerk of council for all you do to keep me in the loop, to keep me abreast. Even if it's something that I may or may not know, she correct, she give me input. And Mr. Misley, you know, and Jason, y'all know also how important the clerk of council is to keep us on the straight and the narrow, to keep us focused. It is October, Breast Awareness Week, but it's also birthday month. Ain't right, Mary? I like to wish Mary Adams a happy birthday, and I like to wish Anthony Woods a happy birthday. Doing this month of October. So, you know, it's just about October. It's just that time of the year. It's my time. Anybody that's born in October? There you go, Mary. You and I got it, 'cause we got it. If everybody's hearts are clear, minds free. Okay, and with all that being said, Lafayette, how you doing, sir? Good. I know you coming to the meeting, and we thank you. And I know once you come on board after the November election, nothing changes. We'd like to have you definitely come to the November and December meeting. November 5th, we will meet again, but the vote will be in when we meet again. So go vote, go encourage other people to vote. You know, don't let it, if it's raining, we got to go do what we got to do. We need to vote. Okay?
Mr. Woods,
Yes, ma'am.
the plea is that there's, as of today, there are 861 people who requested their absentee ballot. The thing is, requesting that ballot is one thing, but returning that paper application is going to be the biggest thing in returning that ballot. So Marlboro County, we lost over 3,200 voters who've been, let's say, inactive. We really need to push that our county, because just like we should have done with the census, when our county grow and people participate, we would now catch the ear and the eyes of our state officials, and that's what we need. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.